This is Mekus with the Continence Club. I am back with a groundbreaking presentation. If you're new to the channel, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. In today's presentation, I'm going to be discussing the identity shifting techniques that you might already be aware of or might not be aware of. And in explaining these techniques, I'm going to explain the biggest technique that you more than likely aren't even aware of. So with that being said, it's time to demonstrate. So I know you're probably thinking, what techniques am I discussing today? Is it affirmations, visualization, meditation, or vision boards, etc., etc.? Well, I'm here to discuss all of these things, but let's go ahead and take a step back so that you can get a better understanding of the best technique that I'm here to discuss with you today. All this time, you've been searching for the best ways to manifest your desired situation. You've tried cold showers, you've tried meditation, you've tried journaling, right? You've tried yoga, whatever it is. However, I'm here to tell you that these methods do not seem to get you to fully shift the way that you want to. You're doing all of these things day in and day out. You have the vision board up, you're looking at it every day. You're taking the cold showers, you're really visualizing, you're meditating, and these are all fantastic things to do. This is what the majority of people don't even do with their own lives, all of these self-care mechanisms, but the truth is, the only truth is you. It's not the techniques that you put emphasis on. You are the identity shifting technique. You are the manifestation technique, right? You are the catalyst from going to your desired situation. You are the catalyst to bridge the gap. You are. And this is something that's not really discussed, at least in my experience. And I'm really here to break it down to you today. So I'm going to keep demonstrating. Remember, these techniques are all external. All of these things, the cold showers, the meditation, all of these things are external, meaning they are outside of yourself. Remember, this life that we're living is an internal game. But do not discredit the power of cold showers, of a vision board. These are amazing things for you to do. They are actually very effective, but they're not actually the end all be all. Let me demonstrate even further. If you believe identity shifting and manifestation is all about altering your current situation and waiting for something to change, you're in the wrong. This indirectly indicates to the universe that you lack your desired situation. How do you expect to make the shift when you're relying on things outside of yourself? Remember, making a shift in your identity is an internal thing. So as you bridge the gap, I want you to understand that there is no secret method or technique at the deepest level. One method may work for someone and a different one works for someone else, right? I know successful people who really don't even do any of these things, right? And it seems like these days, giving credit to these different techniques are what's gonna make or break you, but that's not really the case. I see people in real time, in real life, who aren't doing a lot of these quote unquote techniques, but they find themselves to be very successful. And when I look at why that is, it's really because of the person that they are, the mindset that they carry. All of these things are extra. So what I'm here to say is that techniques are really useless. It's the emotion and conviction you place that ignites them. Let me give you an example. You could sit down and journal all day, right? And you could script out the life that you want. But if you're not really putting your emotions into this and feeling it as you write it, then you're really kind of wasting your time. Because emotion is the language of God. It's really the catalyst that's really going to help you shift your identity. Like, look at the emotion. Look at Batman, for an example. He went through all of that trauma, and he wouldn't have been Batman if his parents didn't, leave the earth realm, right? He used his emotional state as a navigating tool to shift his identity and save the city every night, to demonstrate on those criminals every night, right? So what I'm really trying to say is the purpose of techniques are to shift you to the internal state equivalent to your desired situation so that it unfolds. Techniques don't actually create your reality, right? They're tools, right? So the importance is in the conviction of the technique of your choice, you know? So make sure to apply intense emotion to your techniques. Like whenever you're meditating, like, really take the time to clear your mind out, right? And to put yourself in the right state of mind. Whenever you're journaling, take the time to really envision that life that you want as like you already have it while you journal, and feel those emotions so that you can really get the maximum effect of the journaling, right? It's really the intent that you put behind it. And so with that being said, techniques are great, but I want you to understand that it isn't something that you need to just fully rely on. They're not, techniques aren't going to make or break you from, shifting your identity. They're going to help you a lot though. But it seems like you probably feel like that's what's going to actually create your reality. So I really want to make that, I want to distinguish that today, right? And make it make sense to you. So one huge identity shifting technique, that's worked for me in my life, that I want to share with you today is called SATS. It's called state akin to sleep. So you might have heard of this. A lot of people are aware of this when it comes to, shifting identities. And so I'm going to break this down by saying that this practice is highly effective when done properly. Like if you're going to do this, make sure to do it properly. Like I explained, when you're doing these techniques, it's all about doing it properly and having the conviction behind these techniques and the emotions behind these techniques. That's what's really going to help them propel you to shift your identity. So this applies to state akin to sleep. Don't just go through the motions. When you do this, actually try to do it. And so to put it simply, SATS is carrying your visualization into your sleep state. You've probably heard about me talk about this in my videos, but this is a very interesting technique that you can definitely apply to your life so that you can shift your identity a lot quicker. So this method is most effective in a theta state. And remember, in not too long ago, I've discussed what a theta state is in my previous videos. A theta state is associated with a drowsy state, whenever you're going to go to sleep. So here's the technique. So as you fall asleep at night, what I want you to do is vividly see the life you desire in the identity you seek. Remember, chase characters, not goals. Envision that character that you are. Make sure you're really relaxed, sit in a position that it isn't really that easy for you to sleep in so that you can make the most out of this technique. So you could probably go ahead and sleep on your back if you sleep on your side, just so that you can really practice this. So when you vividly see the life you desire and the character that you want to become, that you want to shift to, replay the scene as already done over and over. You want to keep it short. Use your 5 senses in the scene. Have someone who cares for you congratulating you on your accomplishment, whatever it is. Have someone that you love, someone that's close to you, congratulating you for becoming the person that you are, for, getting that material possession, right? Or that accomplishment, whatever it is. Have someone in your visualization congratulating you. And remember, use your 5 senses. Try to see, touch, hear, smell, feel, whatever it is in that visualization. Try to make it as real as possible, because remember, imagination, right? Your mind can't tell the difference between imagination and real life. And, that's literally it. Just keep the scene short and replay it over and over again as you're falling asleep. So you want to be in a state where you're asleep but awake at the same time. And make sure to use and feel your emotions during the scene, because remember, emotion is the language of God. So drift off into sleep and just keep doing this and watch what happens over the course of time. I've seen it happen in my life where I was consistent with this, kept what I want in the back of my mind, especially as I went to sleep, and I see how certain things just happen. It's almost kind of weird. You think it's a coincidence, but there's no such thing as coincidences. And then next thing you know, whatever it is that was on my heart, I ended up attracting. So this is what's going to happen to you, and remember that different techniques can be used each day. SATS just happens to be one of them. This is just one of them. So make sure to use it for the sake of internally shifting to your identity, so that whenever you wake up, you are in the frequency of your desired situation. Because remember, your frequency is always going to be materialized, whatever it is. So, SATS is going to put you on that frequency of your desired situation, of that desired identity, right? And as long as you continue to do this, you're going to maintain that frequency. And that's what's going to materialize, your identity that you want, your desired situation, whatever it is. So that is the breakdown. And with that being said, this is Mekus with the Continence Club. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I will see you on the other side. Keep going.